Derik Queen is the worst lottery pick since Johnny Davis, and I really don't think he's going to make it to a second NBA contract. If you're new around here, make sure to subscribe. I drop regular NBA analysis content and film deep dives, and if you haven't already, make sure to give this video a thumbs up. It really helps with the algorithm more than you know. Now, I do want to make one thing clear. Two things, actually. The first is that I am not making this evaluation based on a few Summer League games, right? I don't put a whole lot of value in Summer League, of course, but more so in the last 2 years, I've been watching Derik Queen and his game develop, during which I've been extremely low, vocally extremely low on his pro potential. The second is that just because I'm saying this and that I've made several predictions that Derik Queen isn't going to make it in the NBA long term doesn't mean I'm preying on his downfall, right? If you've been around here for a while, you know I'm not at all about that, and I want the most success possible for every player, Derik Queen included. I just want good hoops, man. But I have to make my predictions, and this is a prediction of mine. Now, my main issue with Queen is that he's a clear boom or bust player. And to make sure he booms, or however you want to put it, right, he needs to be the focal point of an offense. He isn't good enough right now, and I don't think he's ever going to get to the point where he's good enough to be an offensive hub, right, considering his downsides, right, and considering what he doesn't provide. He needs to be at such an elite level as an offensive hub and offensively to negate everything he doesn't do that I don't think he's going to get any chance to really, any time in that role on the floor. Right now, he's overweight, he's slow-footed, he's lazy in getting up and down the court, and he doesn't defend a thing. His touch inside is okay, and his footwork is pretty solid too, and of course he's flashed some playmaking as well. But none of that matters if he's giving up 20 points a night in defensive lapses alone. He can't shoot, and he doesn't provide any form of athleticism. Now, again, I want to touch on his conditioning, right, and roll that into sort of his attitude and what I've heard. So he showed up to the draft combine completely out of shape after having several months to prepare for it. And multiple months later again, he looks to be even worse shape for Summer League. Right. And from all the intel I've received as well, Queen is extremely immature for his age, right? Which really shines through in his body language on the court. I may have counted more times he's thrown his arms up in the air in frustration than I have actual good rotations on defense so far in Summer League. Now, I do want to say, everything I've heard as well, he's an amazing kid, very, very likable. Everyone around the locker room loves him, right? But in terms of purely his application and the way the effort he puts into his conditioning, he's extremely immature, right? Now, I do have some film I sort of want to dive into really quickly as well. Now, Derik Queen has spent a lot of time creating shots from the perimeter so far in Summer League, and way too many of them end up like this one does, right? You can see sort of how slow-footed he is here, right? And I'm not sure why he thinks he can, or even attempts to try and break down defenders like this, right? But going back, rolling it back, okay, he takes on his defender, right? Takes off the dribble. He turns into the help defense, right? So there's no sort of recognition of the floor and where everyone's placed. He turns into the help defense. He continues to attack, goes through, right? And now he continues on, and he sees this as an extra player, right, at the rim, ready to defend. And he continues to go through, and he just heaves up a shot over the top. Someone whose entire selling point is feel for the game, he seems to chuck up a lot of these questionable shots off the dribble. It's also worth noting that Derik Queen was a freshman, but was extremely old for a freshman and reclassified multiple times. He is nearly 3 years older than other lottery picks like Cooper Flagg, Noah Senge, and Jeremiah Fears, and is 2 years older than other guys who have looked fantastic so far in Summer League, like Liam McNeely. Not one of those guys has taken as many bone-shouldered shots as Queen has, despite Queen being significantly older, more experienced, having all the physical advantages in the world, and having a supposed great feel for the game. Now, this play here is another example of Derik Queen trying to create something out of nothing off the dribble, despite having next to no off-the-dribble creation skills. He takes the ball inside, right? He has his matchup. He goes into, again, he turns into the help defense. He's probably at the NBA level getting stripped here, right, by the collapsing defense. He tries a spin move. The defense sticks to him extremely well, but see how slow-footed he is, right? Now, you're probably seeing at an NBA level, this guy is coming in, this defender is coming in from the wing, from the corner, and he's either contesting it, blocking it, or stripping that shot, right? Because of how slow-footed he is and how easy it is to read what he's doing inside. Now, you see Yannick Niederhauser as well coming over. He's able to read it because, again, Derik Queen is so slow-footed, and it's so easy to predict what he's about to do, right? And he just comes in here and he just swats it, right? It's a good block, right? That block's not going to be made every time, right? It's a red block. It's actually a really impressive block. But the fact is, It was a very poor decision. He turned into, there's probably 3 or 4 times there where he would have been stripped by an NBA level defender. And in the end, he takes a bad shot and gets sent back at the rim. Okay, now in this next clip, it actually starts off quite solid, right? You see, as the ball's been brought up the court, Derik Queen establishes solid positioning in the post, right? He comes up, he's established his positioning, right? But he can't seem to decide whether he's committing to the ball handler or his man in the dunker spot. And so he just freezes and forgets how to play defense, which leads to a wide open dunk. Now, this next video is a compilation provided by Insider We Trust on Twitter, so shout out to him for putting this together, of all the defensive lapses that Derik Queen has made thus far in Summer League. Now, I'm not going to show all of it because it's about 3 minutes long. You can go check it out on Twitter if you'd like. But this kind of just puts on display everything that I've been discussing so far today, right? Queen has consistently been caught out of position in both zone and pick and roll coverage, regularly beat down the floor, and provided next to no rim protection or even deterrence. I understand that not everyone is gifted defensively, but if you're at his size, right, not just in height, but in sort of stature too, obviously, right? We talked a bit about his size horizontally. There's no way, you just have to stand there. You just have to be there. You have to be a presence. And that alone should deter people, but he's not even doing that. He's a complete negative on defense. I don't see a world where he turns it around. You know, the fact that Joe Dumars traded a first-round pick in the draft and an unprotected first-round pick next year, which is likely top 8, the Queen is just mind-boggling to me, right? Maybe you could sell me on Queen going to a team where he can get all the reps he needs to develop on a bad team. However, the Pelicans followed up the Queen trade by signing Kevon Looney, which now pushes Derik Queen to the third-string center role, right? And Queen is obviously someone who's going to need a lot of time and a lot of reps to develop, right? To fully unlock him, along with a number of other things that have to happen for him. But just he needs the ball in his hands to develop, right? And even if he works out long term, he's an awful fit next to Zion Williamson as someone who doesn't shoot, rebound, provide any defense. In fact, is a complete negative on that end. Operates in the same area of the floor offensively as Zion, which completely negates Zion's ability to operate attacking the rim, which is his entire game, right? So, at least with the Pelicans, I just don't see a path to success with Derik Queen, unfortunately. That's all I've got for today. Thanks for tuning in, and make sure to drop a comment, whether it's in relation to the video, Queen, or general feedback. Obviously, I'm just starting out with YouTube stuff, so any feedback's really appreciated. But I will catch you guys next time.